You've heard of Rookie Rush, you've heard of Megazoo, but is there a third option? I say yes. Today, I'm presenting to you Ultimate Utility. Let's hop into it. What's up, Tamers? Welcome back to the other decks. My name's Casual Dobo, and today I'm presenting to you what sort of started off as a joke, kind of riffing off of Rookie Rush and Megazoo, but I have an Ultimate Utility deck that centers around Shoutmon DX, who I think is a perfect candidate for this. Now, the idea is to sort of hard play your ultimates very early on, as early as turn 1, and then go into your Shoutmon DX next turn and start swinging with it. So you have Shoutmon DX with a bunch of inheritables that you can put underneath of it because of its effects, and kind of just add a lot of pressure early on, and essentially just lightning speed turbo into a Shoutmon DX. So it's a little bit wonky, to be honest, but it wouldn't be a deck profile on this YouTube channel if it wasn't a little bit wonky. So enough of the overview, let's just head over into the deck list. So here we are at DigimonCard.dev, shout out to them. But yeah, if you're taking a look at those ratios, you'll notice there's some weirdness going on, but I'll explain everything as we go through it. Starting off with the Digimon, we do have 4 copies of Digimon, and I'm only running 4 eggs, mostly because I'm not relying on the eggs for my card draw. But I wanted to include 4 of them just in case we did get a stack. And I mostly chose this one because it has the biggest, sort of purest DP boost when it comes to the red eggs that didn't rely on my Digivolution sources and having a certain amount. Instead, the only requisite for this is that there's 5 or more cards in my opponent's trash, which is definitely easy to do. Then going into the rookies, and this is where a lot of people will probably yell at me, there's only 4 rookies in here, and they're all level 3 Shoutmon. So I'm playing Shoutmon, who has the on play reveal 5 cards from top of the deck, and then you can grab anything with Shoutmon in its name and anything with Blitz, 1 of each. This is good because on play we get to look for some of the other ultimates and megas that we're looking for, our level 5s and our level 6s, and that way we can sort of set up for that turn 2 big Digivolution and then swing into security. But yeah, I only wanted to play 4 rookies, mostly because a lot of our stuff is sort of in the ultimate and higher range, and I just didn't want to build anything remotely close to Rookie Rush. And because we're not necessarily focused on our rookies or our champions, I did feel comfortable tossing in 4 copies of Meganorimon, who in my opinion is the most valuable common in BT5 right now. He's an incredible blocker, can't attack, but on your opponent's turn, if you delete a Digimon by blocking it, it gets to unsuspend. So it pretty much nullifies any rookies that your opponent throws at you, and some champions as well. Next up, going into some of our other level 4s, we do have 4 copies of Fugamon, who is just a very cheap to play, 3 cost to play, specifically champion. This is kind of just in case of emergency if we don't necessarily have the cards that we want in hand, or if we get a lot of our higher play ultimates, we can just play a Fugamon and then kind of digivolve into it. So that's sort of a backup plan in case the Ultimate Utility doesn't give us the hand that we want. Moving on to our other level 4, I do have 2 copies of Agunimon, and I think it's just great to have 2 copies of one of the hybrid champions, just in case we have a scenario where we can swing in for game if we digivolve a tamer. This is just a nice kind of secret, sneaky hit, and in case of emergency, we can just digivolve for 2 onto a Shoutmon. Next up, going into the ultimate in Ultimate Utility, we have our level 5s. Starting us off, we do have Skullgreymon from BT1. This is 7 to play, but it has an on-play ability that gets to delete one of your opponent's blockers. Now, I haven't seen a whole lot of people put these in their decks, but I do like the fact that it is a level 5 that has an on-play ability, similar to my love for Chimeramon in purple. And deleting one of your opponent's blockers is just a nice overall thing to have. Admittingly, this is not the ultimate I want to hard play, but if I have to, it's definitely nice to have. Next up, we do have the ultimate I do want to find in my starting hand, which is 4 copies of level 5 Triceramon. This is just an incredible ultimate that is 5 costs to hard play and has 8,000 DP. Now, Triceramon is the level 5 that I want to see in my starting hand. That way, if I have 3 memory, I can play for 5, give my opponent 2, and then kind of set up for the next turn, whether it be Digivolving into a level 6 or even one of our other level 5s, which we can sort of see now on the screen. Going next into our other level 5, we do have 4 copies of Omni Shoutmon. This has an incredible ability that says you can Digivolve the rookie Shoutmon into this card for 4 memory, ignoring all the other cards' Digivolution requirements, which is fantastic, and a good way to sort of warp into level 5 if we have rookie Shoutmon and Omni Shoutmon in hand. And it also has a wonderful inheritable that says when this Digimon has Blitz, it gains security attack +1. And spoiler alert, a lot of our level 6s have Blitz. And then going into our last ultimate for this deck, I do have 4 copies of Metal Greymon Alterius mode, and while I don't have Metal Greymon to activate its when Digivolving ability, I'm mostly looking at this because it can Digivolve off of level 4 or a level 5. And this is good just because I don't want to hard play Alterius mode. So if I can play a Triceramon, and then next turn, if I don't have the cards I want in hand, I can Digivolve into Alterius mode for 1. And hopefully through card draw, we do go into a Z Greymon or a Shoutmon DX. Alterius mode also has the extra benefit of having an inheritable that says when this Digimon has Omnimon or Greymon in its name, it gets plus 2,000 DP. So that applies to both our Z Greymon and our level 7 Omnimon. Speaking of Z Greymon, we do have 4 copies of it. This is a level 6 that has Blitz, so we're able to swing into security even if we were to pass 0 on the memory gauge, security or our opponent's Digimon, depending on the board state. And then it has, as an inheritable, when this Digimon attacks with Blitz, it can also attack your opponent's unsuspended Digimon. Now, going into the bossmon of this Digimon deck, we do have 4 copies of Shoutmon DX. This says when Digivolving, it has Blitz, so we can attack even if we pass 0 on the memory gauge, but also when Digivolving, we can place 1 red Digimon card from our hand to the top of the Digivolution chain for it. Then, for every Omni Shoutmon or Z Greymon that we have in the Digivolution chain, we can delete an opponent's Digimon with 5,000 DP or less. So either through the Digivolution or through the effect, we are hoping to have at least a few of Z Greymon or Omni Shoutmon in there, so we can delete a lot of, the 1 cost Digivolve blockers or any rookies that might sort of be hindering us from winning. And then lastly, for our Digimon, we do have 4 copies of Omnimon. This is the Blitz Omnimon. So when Digivolving, it has Blitz, but also when Digivolving, you can unsuspend this Digimon. Also, on all turns, if an opponent's effect would either delete it or return Omnimon to our hand, we can actually trash a level 6 from under its Digivolution sources and prevent it from leaving the field. Which is nice because in an ideal world, we have more than just 1 level 6. It wouldn't, just be Shoutmon. It might be like Shoutmon and Z Greymon, Shoutmon, just some sort of unholy Shoutmon snake that we Digivolve an Omnimon on top of it. But this is great just because, we can soften security throughout the game or even go in for a bigger strike and then use Omnimon to actually swing in for the win. Going into our options, we only have 4 options here, and surprise, they're all Gaia Force. Gaia Force is still just an incredible option card to delete one of your opponent's Digimon. No questions asked, and is obviously very detrimental if you hit it in security. Detrimental for your opponent, of course. And then finally, to round out the deck list, we do have 6 Tamers in total. We have 4 copies of BT1 Tai Kamiya. This is a memory tamer, so it allows us to fix our memory to 3 automatically at the start of the turn. And then on your turn, all of your Digimon with 4 or more Digivolution cards in their chain get security attack +1. Now obviously, if we were to go into, a Triceramon and then a Shoutmon DX, we're not going to have the Digivolution chain for security attack +1, even if we were to put one underneath of it, which is okay. I'm not really going for Shoutmon OTK here. I'm just going for warp speed Shoutmon. That said, if you have two Shoutmons in your hand and you do sort of Digivolve from Triceramon into Shoutmon DX, putting something underneath of that, and then on next turn, Digivolve into Shoutmon DX on top of your Shoutmon DX, not only do you have an unholy Shoutmon snake, but you now have, security attack +1 from Taikamiya. And then lastly, we do have 2 copies of Takumi Aiba. I put this in here, one for the Digivolution effect, where when we Digivolve into something, we do get draw 1, but mostly I put this in here for the effect of all turns, all level 3 Digimon get, when attacking, lose 1 memory. Since I'm only playing, 4 rookies, they're all Shoutmon, I'm not necessarily attacking with my rookies, so I don't have to worry about that effect, but it does sort of hinder / present a roadblock for anyone who is trying to rookie rush me, especially if they swarm the board after I play an ultimate. Maybe I had to play one that is not Triceramon and had to give a little bit more memory. Takumi Aiba sort of helps deter them a little bit from attacking. But yeah, that is the deck profile. So there are a couple things that I want to play test and see if things will work. The first and foremost being Skullgreymon. I want to see if it's worth it to have it at 7 cost, or if I should just replace it with some of the other 5 cost to play level 5s that we have. Actually, Red is a great candidate for it. I believe they have 2 other Digimon that have 5 cost to play level 5s. So that could be an option if I think this on playability isn't worth it for the price. And then the other thing I wanted to mention was, you're probably wondering why I don't have the 1 cost of Digivolve blocker, or even the other blocker, which goes for 5 and is red. And it's primarily, I didn't think it was worth it. Obviously for the level 1 to Digivolve blocker, I don't have enough rookies to really justify it, and paying 6 for a blocker is a little rough. And then similarly for the 5 cost to play blocker, I thought about it a little bit, but honestly I'd rather just put Mechanorimon in. I think Mechanorimon just has a little bit more utility with its ability. I know I'm not attacking, so it's a pure defender and I can't Digivolve on top of it, but 4 costs to play is really not going to hurt me all that much. And to deter most, if not all, rookies is just absolutely fantastic. But yeah, so that's the deck profile. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you liked the video, please give it a like. I really appreciate it. And for more deck profiles and more just BT5 goodness, subscribe to the channel. We'll be doing a lot with BT5. And it's honestly just a really exciting deck, especially for people who are, getting into it. Prices are good. Alright, so that'll do it for me. Until the next time, I'll see y'all later. Have a good one.